Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just going to dive into Bitcoin, big up the CoinsKid crew. So this particular chart is going parabolic at the moment from the lows here. We've got this double bottom last year, look, from January, came up into resistance at the 55. This is the weekly time frame, came back down, made a high low, and then we've coiled up and broke out here on this particular chart. So this chart is going parabolic. This is the DXY, okay? So a lot of people say that this is inversely correlated to Bitcoin. I believe it is. Every time you see this breaking out and going up, you always see a roll, you know, and another lower low on Bitcoin, basically. So it is my opinion that Bitcoin has actually been in a correction since way down here, you know, sort of towards the middle of April, when this started to bottom out and start to come back up. I think that Bitcoin has actually been in a massive irregular correction, you know, and confluence to that fact is the altcoins that have put in a massive ABC zigzag correction from that point as well. So, you know, when does the correction end? I'm trying to find the end of the correction, you know, and we're using data, historical data, to say that lows in on Bitcoin, but there's absolutely zero guarantees. But one thing we could do is keep an eye on this parabola, because all parabola is broken. You understand that? That's a rule, okay? All parabola is broken eventually. So a lot of people say that this particular chart, this DXY, is heading to this red line. Now, if that is right, and we are seeing the DXY top out about 120, okay, and it breaks this parabola, you know, goes up like this and keeps doing something like this towards the end of the year or the start of next year, that when that parabola is broken and starts to come back down for a retracement, that could be a really healthy and positive sign for the crypto markets here, you know, and risk on assets like stocks and obviously crypto that are in that category. So we'll need to keep an eye on this going forward. Whenever the parabola is broken on this, all I'm saying is it could be a good entry point for you on crypto, and it could be another, you know, real solid, rock solid indication at the bottoms in of the correction for Bitcoin and crypto, basically, and then it begins another run, you know. So at the minute, this is going parabolic. It's really retracing. Look at that. Every time it comes down to this line, you're just bouncing, okay? So this is parabola. All parabola is broken. You know, every time I've seen these things do this, they get broken. It's a rule of thumb, you know, nothing goes up forever and nothing goes down forever. It's just patience. So right now, you know, if this continues to come up and breaks out, you can see at the point here, this is at a key high and Bitcoin's getting at a key low. So if this breaks this high and starts to hold and back test, I would anticipate it's a massive warning sign that crypto, you know, is in trouble and it's looking at another dump. It really is that simple, you know, and Bitcoin's going to lose those data-driven lows that we're keeping an eye on as well since June, you know, and all data is out the window. So where would the low be at that point? That's why I try to say to you, I don't know. I could guess, you know, a lot of people guess 14k, 10k, 9k, 5k or whatever, but one indication of the low being in could be when this parabola is broken. So we will keep an eye on this going forward, okay? And please, in the comments, remind me if I'm not looking at this, take a look at the DXY, look at what it's doing, because whenever this parabola is broken, boom, that could be an amazing signal that the bottom's in on crypto, basically. So let's dive into Bitcoin, okay? So looking at Bitcoin on the weekly, I think that whenever you start to see that parabola broken, which, you know, I assure you at some point it will get broken, whenever that gets broken, if there's a combination here that this level of resistance, this downward sloping trend line is broken for Bitcoin as well, you know, that in that point could be a sweet spot for you to enter Bitcoin, you know, or buy whatever altcoin you desire. But at that point, that could be an enormous confirmation statement that the bottom is in. So until then, you know, you could still sit on your hands, as I'm trying to say to you, and not necessarily catch this falling knife, potential falling knife of this continuation of this downtrend. Because at the moment, you know, I am adhering to data. Like I said to you, I'm not trading on emotion or acting on emotion. I'm trying to adhere to data. Emotion is telling me that we're going lower, obviously, because just take a look at crypto Twitter and, you know, YouTube, the comments, the sentiment is we're going lower with a certainty, okay? You know, and anything can happen. Emotion could play out, but at the minute I'm trying to adhere to data, and the data is telling us that that was your low right there, okay? And you've come up and backtested and held it here, and you're coming up and backtesting and holding it here at the moment. So, you know, the data is telling us the low is in, and until that, you know, data is invalidated, I have to act on data, and this is what I'm doing on the channel. So, you know, I'm trying to find other confirmation statements here that the low's in. So one would be you run into resistance, coming back, creating a higher low, you start to come back up and break that resistance within itself, you know, that high there, that zero fib, which is this high here, and then coupled with the break of that resistance and you know, a parabola breaking the DXY, which will come eventually. if there's a combination of that, then that's a massive confirmation statement in itself. That the parabola is broken and Bitcoin's broke. Had its correction. It's over and it's looking healthy for risk on assets again. And sort of DXY is cooling off. But until that event happens, you could just sit on the sidelines and wait for that event. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So there is obviously the possibility here running to resistance, and we're just continuing. And emotion is playing havoc, and we've got to adhere to emotion, not data, at that point, haven't we? And if that is the case, where is Bitcoin going to bottom out? Well, again, I don't know. I could tell you it's going to bottom out at 10k, 9k, 5k, 3k, whatever. But until we start to see that sort of parabola broken, and most importantly this white trend line here, this downward sloping trend line, which will come into be retested once more, whenever we start to see the combination of that two, there will be a greater confirmation that the bottom is actually in there for Bitcoin. So there is always the possibility that is still your low. You're coming up to resistance, you're creating a high low, you're creating some kind of bottom structure down here, you coil along, go sideways, crab under this resistance and this support for the remainder of the year or whatever here, and then as soon as you break that and the parabola is broken on DXY, that's your systems go, isn't it, for Bitcoin? But equally, you've got a wave here, a corrective wave potentially to this high, which is quite a shallow retracement, to be honest with you, that's run into resistance and it's looking for continuation. And if that is the case, for me, you're getting really overextended on the EMAs, and you're getting really, really far away from the EMAs as well, especially 20, which you've not back tested since 28th of March. So this would be a looking glass to a massive, massive correction here for Bitcoin, okay? And then the confirmation statement of that correction being over is what I've just spoken about. So I understand that update, okay? I've not got a crystal ball. I can't give any guarantees on the channel, but so far we are retracing, we are holding this low. Until we're not, we are simply retracing to that low, looking for a bottom out structure down here for Bitcoin, okay? So I'll give you a more detailed update tomorrow on what trades I'm looking at for Bitcoin, but good luck everybody. I wish everyone the utmost luck, and I'm hoping, hope's a dangerous word, but I'm hoping that the data is right and it's told us that that's a low. We ain't got any of that big 85% bear market and the correction's in at this point, and we're doing exactly what we've done before historically. We're finding support, and we're coiling up and looking for a break, okay? And like I said to you, break that, fantastic. Take care everyone, back soon with another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.